You always see this image in airports, shops, restaurants, everywhere. You always pull out your phone, take a picture of it, and see what it gives you. But today you'll understand how this thing works in 2 or 3 minutes. First, we have the white background and these edges here. These edges are called the quiet zone. What is their purpose? First, they provide contrast for the entire QR code so it becomes clearer. Second, they give your camera margins so it can detect 4 squares. Here we have important elements. 3 main squares, this one, and this one. The purpose of these 3 squares is first, to tell the camera the orientation, and also to act as a boundary for the camera, informing it where to read. Basically, they tell it, the data is inside here. For example, if the QR code is like this, the phone camera or computer will use these 3 squares to reorient the image like this and start reading it in the correct way. These are also called finder patterns. One of their functions is to help the camera know where to look and where to find the QR code. Then we have a 4th square. You usually don't notice this 4th square because it's inside. But if you take a look at any QR code you encounter in your life, you'll find this 4th square present. Its purpose is alignment. Alignment, let's call it coordination, alignment, or ordering. For example, QR codes are often placed on surfaces that are not flat or not level, like on a box. The QR code might wrap around, and you end up with something like this, distorted. The camera doesn't want to deal with something like that. It prefers flat, clear things. So this alignment pattern acts like an anchor or a column that stabilizes the QR code and makes it flat. The QR code transforms from distorted shapes like these into something flat like this. That's the benefit of alignment. We also have something called the timing pattern. There is a line here, you'll always find it in every QR code and also in this corner. What you'll notice about these lines is that they are always ordered. What does ordered mean? You'll find them like this, 0, 1, 0, 1, alternating. You'll never find them random like the data in the middle here. They are always structured. What is their purpose? Think of it like a ruler. This ruler tells your phone camera the size of the squares. For example, if we take these squares here, there are 3 squares. How do we tell the camera that this is not 1 square but 3? This is where the timing pattern comes in. It's used as a ruler. The phone camera looks at it and says, okay, this is the size of the squares. And then it starts dividing based on that ruler into these squares. This is the timing pattern. We also have something called format information. It's usually located here, here, and here. These format information squares contain the QR code's configuration settings, such as the mask pattern, meaning the mathematics used for the data, and also the error correction level. It's like telling the camera, hey camera, this is how I work. These are my settings. Before you continue reading the data, this is how you should read it. This is called the format pattern. The last thing is called version information. It's usually located here. Version information tells which version of the QR code this is. QR codes have versions up to 40. What's the difference between one version and another? For example, version 40 can contain much more data. This square basically tells the camera, I'm version X. The benefit of version information is that it tells your phone or camera which version this QR code is. Not the big one, not another one, but this specific version. These are the important things that happen before reading the data. After that, everything else is data. Ones and zeros. Usually, reading starts from the bottom right corner, like this. It starts reading from here, then loops around and reads the next row, and so on. It might read like this, but the idea is the same, like a snake going up and down following this momentum. For example, it reads from here and says 0. This first square is 0, there's nothing, so it's 0. This is 0, this is 0. Here we have 0, 0, and here the first one appears, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and so on until it finishes the entire QR code. Sometimes it's divided into 2 parts. This part contains the full data, and this part contains error correction. If a part here is cut or missing, this section helps recover the missing data as error correction. The scanning or reading method can differ because scanning is done by the computer reading it, so how it reads it doesn't really matter. All QR codes are the same, but the scanning method may vary. It might read them in squares like this, it doesn't matter. What matters is how the data is structured inside the QR code itself. This is how QR codes work. In the second part of the video, I want to talk about why we have QR codes, how it started, what's the story. This involves Toyota. Toyota has a subsidiary called Denso Wave. At Denso Wave, there was a person named Masahiro Hara. Masahiro Hara and Toyota/Denso Wave had a problem. The problem was that car companies relied on barcodes like this for tracking car parts. All car companies tracked their parts, using barcodes like the ones you see on products in stores. But the problem was that car parts became very complex and very numerous. Barcodes had two major issues: limited capacity, how much data they could store in a small space, and the scanning method was complicated. It had to be scanned from a specific direction, sometimes twice, just to read it. Many problems. Masahiro Hara thought, I'll solve this. Instead of being one-dimensional like this, he decided to make something two-dimensional, so it could contain more data and be readable from any direction. And that's how he invented the QR code. The QR code solved all the problems of the old barcode, which could only hold a small amount of data. He added these 4 squares so it could be read from any direction, and because it became two-dimensional, it could store more data. That's how we got the QR code. Of course, it has many benefits, but also risks and some very strange uses. One benefit is that it takes you into the digital world without disconnecting you from the physical world. For example, you pass by a place with a QR code. You don't have to write out HTTPS and the full link. You just scan it and instantly get the link. But some people have come up with very unusual uses of the QR code during my research. For instance, some people get functional QR code tattoos inked on their bodies that, when scanned, trigger digital content like a music video or an internet meme. Very strange. There are also scams and hacking stories. For example, in some places, QR codes are used in parking lots to pay. A scammer or thief comes and puts their own QR code on top of the original one, and the money goes into their pocket instead of the company managing the parking. This is the story of the QR code and how it works. This is the end of the video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.